presentation on Marines versus pro athletes and like how much money they make and like boot camp compared to like their training camps and stuff because they're so different. So why this interests me? Because Dylan went into the Marines. So yeah. So like first off, to compare like Marines pay versus minimum wage, a full-time worker for like say like at McDonald's or something making minimum wage is $15,080, and a Marine, what Dylan is, so there's like a scale that they go off of to like determine like what rank they are or whatever, and I'll show you that later. But he's a private first class right now, and he makes $19,740, so that's a difference of $4,660. So that's not that much money to like, because he's gonna stay at private first class for like probably like 6 or 7 months now. Like there's a big time gap in like when you change, but we'll talk about that after. So this is a video. This is like, they actually made a movie called Black Friday, which is like, they said it was the most like boot camp, like Marine boot camp footage that would ever be released, and it's kind of scary, but you can watch it.
Oh shit.
Oh my god. You might have to turn business sound up on the computer. This guy wasn't answering the phone, so they kept screaming.
This is the fastest, the hardest. I told you that from day one.
In this environment, things can be very strenuous. You're going to be doing things to your body that you've never done before.
You do not say, sorry, sir. Thank you, sir. Any trash like that, do you understand that? Yes, sir. I'm not your mom, I am not your damn dad, do you understand me? Yes, sir. I'm not a recruit that don't want to stand up. A 70-year-old woman walks faster than this. 70 senior citizen women with walkers.
They actually say this stuff to people. Like Dan said he got screamed at a lot of times. Like if you don't answer them loud enough, they scream at you. Like they get in your face and you
I didn't even cover my back, you understand me?
My mind was already.
Yeah, let's go. How about you miss Susie, you understand me? Yes, sir. You know, that figure, I'm watching this area, you watching that area, those who sleeping want me to cut my damn throat, you understand me?
You're on a hunger strike? So you're not refusing to trade, are you? Yes or no?
We're gonna second up, take 800 milligrams of that second up. Gonna go? Yes, sir. That's like Motrin, but it's a mad kind of thing. We got that? Yes, sir.
Whoever kills whoever first. You got it? Yes, sir. I told you.
being a Marine's all about, you understand? Yes, sir! How do you want to be removed? How do you want to be removed?
Ones that they ask that to them all the time too. Like they say it like 5 different times a day.
Are you supposed to answer?
Yeah. Sometimes like, I don't know, cause sometimes they say yes sir, and sometimes they say I sir. But I asked Dylan like when you're supposed to like say them, and he said, I don't really know, you just kinda know. I'm not really sure how that all works, but like, so this is like their boot camp, this is what they go through. It's 13 weeks and there's 3 phases. So week 1 through 4 is like their physical training and when they learn like martial arts and stuff, and like they go to, in week 1 there's, well, one thing called Black Friday, which is like the Friday after they get there. It's like hardcore stuff, like it's probably the worst day that you're gonna go through when you're there. But then the rest of week 1 through 4 is mostly like classroom training, like you learn like the history and stuff of the Marine Corps. And then they also do like their swim qualifications. So Dylan was in San Diego, so he went into the ocean and he said that like his like biggest fear of boot camp was getting eaten by a shark, which I just thought was kind of funny. And phase 2 is week 5 through 9, and that's when you go to Camp Pendleton, which is also in San Diego. It's just where his base was, it's probably like 5 miles north of that, so it wasn't very far. And that's when you do your rifle training, so you go into grass week, which is like your shooting and stuff, and then table week and field week, so that's basically just learning all about the guns and like shooting them and stuff. And then week 10 through 13 is gas chamber training, which is, Dylan said, was really scary because you just like wear a gas mask and you're like they're trying to like gas you out, but the gas is like non-poisonous, whatever, it's like not gonna hurt you. But he said it still like chokes you up and stuff, but they don't really care if they like hurt you or not, like they're trying to help you. But then they do the crucible, which is I think it's I want to say 15-mile walk like straight up a hill. Like it's awful, it's scary. This was taken during the crucible. They're deprived of food and sleep and water. He didn't sleep for I want to say like 16 hours. So this is him right here, and like if it was better quality, like their faces, like they're just like white and they are like trying so hard to stay awake. And this was one of his friends and he fell behind in the crucible, and Dylan went back and like Dylan was pushed to the back and helped his whole platoon get up. So like they have people like kind of set people to kind of help everybody else get up the hill. But it was like, I was gonna put a picture in here, but no pictures really like do the hill any justice or whatever, but it's like straight up, like you basically, for one part of it, you have to climb a rope up the hill. That's why they teach you to climb the rope and stuff, like in the training and stuff, because of that part of the crucible. And then they go through like first aid training and like what to do if someone gets hurt or whatever. They go through more physical training and graduation and family day. So like their graduation, I think, was like 3 hours long, and half of it was just a band marching back and forth. But before they get to see any of their family, like you get to watch it all happen, but you can't actually go and talk to them because before they graduate, they go through like a physical training, like the last part of their physical training where they go on a 3-mile run. And Dylan was telling me that on the 3-mile run, like if you were to sweat, like they would kind of like give you consequences and not let you see your family as long, because you're not, like in the Marines, like if you're sweating or something, like the drill instructors sweat. They said the drill instructors probably sweat the most out of anybody there because of yelling so much and they get so fired up. But they like, if they are sweating or whatever, they have to they take a timeout break and they have to go and change their clothes because they can't show any signs of weakness or anything. Like it's just something that the Marine Corps does, and it's kind of weird, but. So this is called a matrix, and this was the only thing that we had to go off of when Dylan left. Like this is like a calendar for them. So this like tells us like what he's doing every single day that he's there or whatever. So like, and it goes by phases too, so here's phase 1 and phase 2 and phase 3. So it this was actually like really helpful for us, because we knew this day, Sunday is called their Liberty Day, when they can do like whatever they want basically, but they have to go to church every Sunday. So like, now he gets way more liberty than he did then, but he really didn't get like full liberty where like now he can go off base and like he can go anywhere he wants, but this day was kind of his like relaxation day and stuff, and he got to like go to church, and that was basically it, except for grass week. You have to stay there for grass week, but you still go to church, but there's more training on the Sunday. So I just think that's kind of cool. And then this is what I was talking about before. This is like the rankings they use to like determine their pay and stuff. And then these over here are like the pin that you get when you get to that like class or whatever. But Dylan was telling me that when you get your pins and stuff, you know the little like turtle backs that you like close onto the pin? After you get the pin, you can put it in your shirt, but you don't put the back on for 24 hours straight, and people just come up to you and like they like push the pin into your chest. Like he said, that's just like a tradition there and stuff, and like they were all just fine with it, I guess, but it's kind of gross, I guess. So Dylan is right here, and he won't get to this for, I think he gets this in the spring now or something, but this is what they start out as, and then this is what they go to like right when they get to like after they go up the crucible, they get their like, it's called a globe and anchor, and that's when they are like first called Marine, and that's when they go to private first class too. So like, so this is what you start out as, and if you're like, say you were a Lance Corporal, if you made it to Lance Corporal, you would make $1,730, and then after 3 years, like if you were Lance Corporal, you could be Lance Corporal for like 3 years, but after that, then you would go up like basically $200. So it's like not that big of a jump really. So there's more, but this is mainly what they stay in, because a lot of people don't really stay in for like 38 years, like unless you're trying to make a career out of it. Otherwise you usually get out of the Marines. So now to the Green Bay Packers. They're worth $1,950 million, and like on a game day, these are the lowest prices that you'll find like anywhere. And so like with the total number of seats, there's 80,735. So at the lowest price, if every seat in there were to be the lowest price of $80, that's how much money. It'd be $6,458,800. Like that's how much money they would make off of one game, which I think is just gonna be crazy. So, and then Aaron Rodgers, he signed a 5-year contract for $110 million, and it had a $33,250,000 signing bonus. And in the Marines, they talked about giving Dylan the signing bonus or whatever, but the Marines is one of the poorest like military branch that there is, so they can't afford to give everybody a signing bonus. And if Dylan were to get a signing bonus, he said it would have been like $300 probably. So, and for per game bonus, if every game he plays, he makes $37,500 just for one game. So that's a crap ton of money for one person, but. So their training camp compared to boot camp, I think is kind of, I don't want to bash them, but I think it's kind of stupid. But so their training camp consists of just scrimmages, 2-a-days. They do their exhibition season where they play a couple of games, and then a lot of it consists of like meetings and like meeting the coaches, meeting other players, whatever. Their biggest concerns for the training camps is dehydration, heat stroke. The weather can play a big impact on this. Like if it's raining, they're not going to play, whatever, they're not going to practice. And illness. For Dylan's rifle training when he was in grass week and stuff, when he's like shooting and he has all these like rifle tests and stuff, he got pink eye and pneumonia. So he got super sick and they didn't care. Like he still had to do it. Like you can't just like sit out of that, you know? Like if they get hurt, like yeah, if you get hurt, like heal yourself. But like if you were to be like running through the field and you roll your ankle in boot camp, they don't care, you know? Like when Dylan first got there, they have like a dentist. They didn't numb him or anything and pulled 2 of his teeth out. Like they just do it, you know? Like I just think they're kind of babies compared to like what Dylan had to go through and what all the Marines and any branch of the military really has to go through, because like dehydration, like if Dylan's like in war or something, he's not always going to have water and he's not always going to get to sleep and like give his best performance the next day, you know, because like that's not just something he can help, you know. But so as you can see, this is a picture of Dylan. He's right there. But like the Marines go through way more than like Aaron Rodgers and like the Green Bay Packers or any pro football team goes through, really. And like I just think it's kind of ridiculous how like he makes so little compared to someone who like goes out and just plays a game every day. Like he's doing something to like protect our country and protect all of us, which I think is worth way more than like playing a football game. So, and that's it. Thank you.